What's up? What's up? What's up? This your man. This is us back again, Beauty in the Brains podcast. I am Luke 1817, and this is my co-host. Oh well. Got your Asian fan there. This heat.
It's beating us up.
It's beating us up, but we here to bring y'all some heat today too. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna be a very interesting show today about the laws of attraction and relationships. So that's gonna be very, very interesting. Monel, how you doing today? This Saturday?
I'm doing pretty good. Okay. I'm wide awake for some reason. I don't know.
I got coffee today, this morning. I'm trying to hide it.
I had my coffee.
Oh, you had your coffee. Okay. So how was your week this week so far?
It's been real busy.
Mm-hmm.
School, working, maintaining, staying calm.
I understand. I understand. What you in school for?
Nursing.
Oh, we got another nurse on board, y'all. I don't think we have a applause button on here, but when we do, I'll press it. So we got another nurse on board for the medical industry. So once she come out of school, y'all make sure y'all go see her.
Yes, I'll take care of you.
She'll take care of you. Drug it real good.
We don't drug our patients. We don't drug our patients.
Oh, they don't drug their patients.
No, that's a form of restraint. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna have a show talking about nursing and the laws of nursing, how you should be treated in the hospital, etiquette. Okay, we're gonna do that, all that too. We're gonna go into that.
Know your rights as a patient.
And know your rights as a patient. That's very important, especially for our people.
Yeah, a lot going on. They decapitating babies and everything.
Oh man. Okay, so the juice is real today.
It is.
We're gonna go ahead and get started with our scheduled program for today here on Beauty in the Brains, where we talk about whatever there is that needs to be talked about.
The current events today, right now, we're talking about the current events. The USA drama with Russia and the motherland. Are you going to Africa for your free visa?
Wait, what?
Yes. Now, you know, Africa holds everything, the oil, diamonds, everything. Allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, the U.S. has cut ties with Russia and the motherland. That's why they offering free visas for us black folks.
Okay. So we jumping right into it.
Yeah,
Okay, so first of all, there's so much in that one statement to break down, you know. The U.S. has cut ties with Russia and Africa. You know, Trump was taking strides to build a connection with Russia, a positive one. And so that's been torn down. My question is why? That's the first question that I have is why. So are we as black people going to go over to Africa to get a visa to live there?
I would do it.
You would?
Heck yeah.
Why would you do that?
Why would I do it?
Yes.
Because for one, again, Africa holds all of the resources. If the U.S. has officially cut ties with the place that has all the resources, we finna be the valley of the dry bones over here.
Who told you that Africa has all the resources?
They do. They got diamonds, oil, whatever else they got, gold. We need all those resources for a majority of what we do. That's why gas prices going up. Okay,
I understand that. So do you believe they have all the resources just because that's what you're told, or because that's what you know to be true?
Half and half.
Okay, half and half.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay. All right, that's cool. So if you were to, let's say you were to go to Africa, and are you going to Africa on the basis of being an African American?
No.
So you're only going because they're offering free visas?
Yes, but I feel like I need to do way more research to it.
I would agree.
Because to me, it kind of screams like human trafficking at its finest.
Okay, now, it's funny you say that, but I'm not, that wasn't what I was getting at first. The question that I have for you is, where exactly are you going when you get to Africa? Do you know?
They're saying it's for Kenya and Liberia.
Do you know what is going on in Kenya and Liberia right now?
A whole bunch of just outrageousness right now.
Yes. So, for black people, because see, this is where I come into play on this aspect of this side of it.
Straight early in the morning.
It is. It's time for it. To understand what is going on in the world around you makes more sense before you go colluding with these type of ideas. First of all, that are being brought to you by those that are not you. Okay? Africa has never wanted an asylum for black people in Africa until it became profitable to do so. The question is you have to figure out what type of profit margin are they looking at for including black people in their plight. The majority of the time, the civilized aspects of Africa are in some type of internal war or internal struggle. Okay? So for us to jump ship and go looking for a free visa in a land that we don't know anything about is like setting yourself up to be further taken advantage of, for lack of a better term, because you don't know anything about where you're going. So when you go and you start mixing with those people, when you start centralizing all of the melanated people into one place, does that seem safe? Okay. So no, I won't be going to take no visa from Africa because I want to know what type of contract is attached to it. There's a reason why they've never opened their borders to us until this point in time. And it's not about salvation when their people are steady running outside the country looking for asylum. They're steady leaving that country looking for asylum. Their people. Sketchy. So why do they want us over there?
That's sketchy.
That's sketchy. So I would employ black people to do your research, first of all, not only on just where you're going, but who lives there and why there's such a need for you to be welcome there in the first place. Then also think about what you're leaving behind, because America has always been the richest nation on the planet when it comes to resources. It's just never talked about. So because it's never talked about don't mean it doesn't exist. Right?
Right.
So quartz, amethyst, gold. Remember we had the gold rush. People was striving to get to California for gold, right? They didn't tell you about the gold reserves that were found in the southeastern part of the United States. They don't tell you about the lost city of gold that's in the Grand Canyon that they hide from everybody.
You know about it, so they didn't hear from you.
No, I had to go find it. You got to go research stuff. You got to go look for it.
Historian Luke.
Because, yes, that's right. Amen. But you got to go look for this stuff because it's there, but it's not the mainstream. So just like we have a river that flows north, like the Nile River, we have a river that does that. And it's actually the Nile River for America. Then we have the Mississippi, which is the Nile River for us. So that means that Egypt is right here in America. Then they give us a copycat. Remember we talked about it last time. So when you have Egypt, you have to look for where's the golden pyramids, where's the golden city, because it's here. But they cut it off from the public in the Grand Canyon. See, if you go in the Grand Canyon, you dig far enough, you're going to find mountains and mountains of gold, enough gold to flip the gold standard. It'll make it cheap.
Talking heavy this morning.
Talking heavy this morning. Heavy. That's that coffee. We'll taste the sugar on top of it. That coffee. But no, I would not employ any black people to go to Africa without first doing your research.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You was gonna go, wasn't you?
I was. I ain't gonna lie.
You gonna go visit? At least go visit.
I'm gonna visit, but not stay there because I don't speak y'all language. I'm be looking like
they'll love you. They'll love you.
What you mean they love me?
They will.
Why?
Because you're healthy. You're a healthy woman.
You trying to say because I'm a little thick, a little juicy?
No, because you're a healthy woman. They look at that. They call it like a thick madame.
Is it because I'm juicy?
Yeah. So that means that you eat good. That means that you're healthy, and because weight doesn't stick to sick people.
weight doesn't stick to sick people.
Makes sense. Now you can be
deep.
obese, but glowing weight, it doesn't stick to sick people.
Dang, you talking heavy this morning.
I'm just telling you what it is. Okay, yeah, you know, I've been quiet all week. So first of all, I've been quiet all week. So you know it's my turn to say stuff.
Let it rip.
Oh yeah, look, don't let me drink all this coffee up in here.
It's okay.
Anyway, all right, you can continue, man. I'm sorry.
Here's another rant for you: the Pensacola poverty rates.
Pensacola poverty rate. Okay, we jumping. Okay. Is this show today about me, or is it about like opening me up?
We just didn't open you up. This is the current event.
Okay. So the current poverty rate in Pensacola. Do you know the numbers?
No.
You don't know the numbers? Okay. Let's see if we can find the numbers right quick. Because Pensacola is where we're located. It's where this show is based out of. So we try to bring news that is germane to the area that we're in first before we spread out. So let's see what the poverty rate is in Pensacola. This is interesting. So what's the question about?
It's just the topic, poverty rates. Kind of like the rant I was having in the car.
Okay. Okay, so it says that the poverty rate in Pensacola, Florida is 15.3%. So it's an estimated about 8,155 people out of 53,215 people live in poverty. Now, you have to understand that this is only for the city lines. It doesn't cover Escambia County.
I was about to say, I feel like it's
it's more. It's higher than that. So hold on, let's see Escambia County poverty rate. But see, the thing is, Escambia County goes into Alabama also. So let's see, Escambia County.
I think like all the way to like McDavid and on.
It's very true. Okay. Yeah, so it says 29.8% of 67,000 people are in the poverty rate.
That's a lot of people.
30%. That's a lot of people. But you have to look and understand that poverty goes according to industry, kind of. And when you're in a place where there's few industry outlets, then you're going to have more people that are in poverty because there's not enough. Everybody can't do the same things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like how you're going for nursing. There's an industry for nursing here because we have a lot of elderly people and a lot of retirees. So because we have those retirees and older people, they create the need for the doctors and the nurses and the hospitals, right? So there's industry here for that. But if you're a welder,
it's not really that much.
There's not really that much industry here. So people that are good at welding with no job are going to be considered in poverty, you know? And I think that that's one of the main things that's wrong with Pensacola is that there's not enough industry. There used to be.
Yeah, it did.
There used to be a lot of industry here, especially in the late 60s and the 70s. They had a lot of chemical plants and all these Monsanto and all these different type of plants were here. So industry was booming. And then the EPA came through and shut all that down. And when they did, a lot of people, well, that was according to that great migration that we had when a lot of our people went up north. That was part of the reason was the EPA coming through shutting everything down. So one of the main issues with Pensacola is that there's not enough diversification of industry. So certain people get all the jobs.
Right.
And then those that are not allowed to be included in those jobs, especially if you have what's called a good old boy system, then the people that are excluded from those jobs are almost like they're worth nothing because you don't fit into one or two industries that certain people, what's the word? Infest.
That's a good word.
That's a really good word. So because of that, it creates a larger percentage of poverty over that smaller group of people. And crime goes up. Right. And, you know, all of the things that come with that lifestyle kind of goes up, the struggle, the hardship. And it's only because of we've allowed certain people to reduce our communities to a certain size.
Look at you talking heavy this morning. You just cracked the code right then and there.
Just did.
They want to bring the crime rate down, get some more industries.
Bring more industry. What type of industry do you think Pensacola could use besides the military and beach and vacationing?
A lot of them. They need way more educational resources, recreation. They do need more welders and stuff like that because y'all want to build stuff all the time and everywhere. But
so these jobs, if we're building more, then these jobs are open. They're open now. If we're actually doing the work. So the West Florida High School over there. So they they rebuilt it or remodeled it or whatever.
Doing off of Burgess?
Yeah, because it used to be
Woodham.
And now it's West Florida. So they moved that whole high school over there. So on the inside of there, they have programs for welding, electrician, nursing, massage therapy, medical assistant. All of those things that you go to like trade school for are now inside of the high school.
That's pretty cool.
It is, because they're being trained to go straight into those industries once they graduate, which is good. So that means that there is an opening for those things. So the industry is there. It's just not being told to the people that could prosper from it. Does that make sense? Okay. So the few people that actually get into those industries or catch wind and get into it, you see they start to climb the scale. But for everybody that's outside of the flow of information, it's too late. By the time you realize it's even a thing, it's too late, right? So when it comes to Pensacola, and again, I mean, not only does poverty go with industry, but it also goes with flow of information as well. Because when it comes to Pensacola, there is certain information that doesn't reach certain neighborhoods.
Right.
Never. So they never know what's going on around them. They only know what's going on in the neighborhood.
Right.
And if the neighborhood is uneducated, then the neighborhood's people is uneducated. Meanwhile, this neighborhood, they're dumping out because so those that don't know, I'm sorry to take over the show.
It's okay.
I ain't you know what I'm saying? She gonna have her rant time too,
It's okay.
But for those that don't know, I'm a medical massage practitioner, right? So it's called an MMP. A lot of people get massages, but not really our people. Our women are getting more and more into it. But our people for the longest haven't used that. It's been more for the other side, right? So when I go to the magazines that come out for the neighborhoods I'm accustomed to, you don't see go be a medical massage practitioner. You don't see that. Like, that's not advertised in those magazines. Or go over here and be a general contractor or this or that. You don't see those advertisements. But when you go on the other side, they have magazines and they have whole pages dedicated to going to school to become this. Go become this. This has a steady income increase over the next 10 to 15 years. Go do this job and this job. The information is there. So even if those people are ignorant to what's going on in the outside world, they're being provided with information to spark something inside of them if they only read it. Whereas that doesn't exist on the other side.
It don't.
Meanwhile, the people on the other side are more scrutinized because they don't know.
Right.
You understand? But that's big business. Awareness and information. It's a big business. If I withhold information from you, I can take advantage of you for everything I'm not telling you.
Talking heavy.
Too heavy today.
Talking heavy.
We talking heavy like D. But that's the facts of what goes on around us. They're a victim of what they don't know.
Just like when they did the campaigns. Like, you know how the campaiggners usually go out in the neighborhoods and canvas? They didn't even come on this side of town. I was like,
no.
How you get elected? We don't even know who was out there, who was running against them. But
okay, so let me ask you this. If you know how your targeted individual group is going to move, do you need to campaign to them? If you already know how they're going to move when it comes to certain things, because consistently they move the same way, what's the need to campaign to them?
I think you got a point.
You know what I mean? Okay, so let me ask this. What has a Democratic Party provided for our people ever?
Nothing.
Nothing. Yet they always come to us and we keep going to vote for them, right? That is called a continued or the same behavior looking for different results. That's called insanity, right? So these people know that our people are somewhat insane. They're going to continue to keep doing the same behaviors looking for a different result. Why do I need to campaign to them for? We don't even give them nothing. We make a whole bunch of empty promises and they still back us every single time it's time to go vote.
I feel like they're the only people that actually come out and show their face. Because you got to think about it. When they doing campaigning season.
When have you seen Donald Trump come through our neighborhood?
We're not talking about Donald Trump.
That's what you should
We're not talking about like presidential. We're talking about this neighborhood. Like,
when have you seen Ron DeSantis?
Stuff like that, huh?
When have you seen Ron DeSantis?
No, I'm not talking about that big. Bring it down a little bit down lower.
Okay, so when have you seen the mayor come into our neighborhoods? Never. Okay, so that tells you in a place like this, you're never going to see him. And you know why?
Because he's scared to come in our neighborhood.
Because
for real, he don't want to cross. He probably don't even want to cross over Pace Boulevard.
Man, nobody's scared of us no more.
Are they?
We look. Okay, now look. Hey. Now listen. Let's stay on that topic. Then we go to that topic. Because if you're the majority in an area, then it's a priority for the local politicians to come see you. If you're a majority, we're not the majority in this area. The majority in this area is over 85 to 90% white.
Right.
Population. So you're not the majority. Because of that, these same people that are the majority vote you out of things that you're supposed to have the majority vote in. Right? Because of the numbers. We don't understand war at all. We don't get it. So we don't even understand when we're a part of a Cold War, a silent war. We don't understand when we're in a war because numbers, it's always a game of numbers.
Because it's about awareness. Most of our people are not aware. They're belligerent.
That's very true. And because we're not aware and belligerent, then the numbers stack up around us to where we're a small concentration on the inside, right? So and then add to that fact that you're calling yourself black. And legally, when you call yourself black, it means you don't exist when it comes to paperwork. See, we don't understand. There's a lot we don't understand here, or else we wouldn't behave the way we do. Because we can't tell when our numbers are doing this. We can't tell. We're all looking at things from an individual standpoint, so we can't see. Again, this goes into attraction because you get what you bring into you. Right? So we can't see that our numbers are reducing all the way down to the point where we have no type of power politically. We don't see it. We don't see it happening, but we wonder why it's getting harder and harder and harder and harder out here, right? Because we're taking ourselves out of our spot. Talking heavy today, man. We gonna look. Okay, I'm about through. That's what the preacher said. Preacher said, about 2 more minutes, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm about through. But did I answer your question?
You did answer it. You answered it.
Okay. You have anything to say about that?
No, I don't. I'm speechless. You just.
Okay. And we're going to continue forward because I think we have more.
Yeah.
Okay. Do your thing.
All right. So what is your thoughts on the Montgomery River Boat Brawl?
You giving me heavy questions to answer, being honest. Okay.
Said save it for the second episode, so I did.
Okay, so we're going right in from the second episode. So the Montgomery City Brawl. First of all,
I know, right?
I think applause is in order because it's about time that our people realize what it's going to take for us to get to the next plateau. And unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because our people are not a people that leads out with this first until we look at each other.
Right.
Violence against another nation is not something that you want to have to do. But when other nations are constantly bringing this violence to you and then sweeping it under the rug like it didn't happen, you shouldn't react to it because there's nothing to react to. It brings you a breath of fresh air to see us sticking together in such a way. Right?
It sent chills down my spine.
However, just like my cousin said, because me and my cousin was talking about this, and he shout out Cuzzo, and he was like, Cuz, but you got to think about something, man, because look at where they at. I said, okay, so what you getting at? And he was like, those people weren't themselves at all, and that what was coming through them was an ancestral energy,
right,
from what happened in that place from years before. Okay, so how can you measure that? Well, you got to look at the elements that's around the people when it went down. They were in the water.
Yep.
You understand? So when you're dealing with water, water is a conduit for spiritual energy. Okay. A lot of times people look into the water and they see a reflection of themselves, and the spirit world open up, or they fall in, and then you go into this another dimension. So water is a conduit for spiritual energy. So just like the boy jumped in the water, that was his straight thought, straight action was to jump straight in the water and go over there. It was normally our people are reserved. If you notice, most of them was around. They wasn't getting involved. They was looking, but it was a certain number. And I don't know if anybody counted how many people went into battle with them white folks. But we should count the number of people that was there, and then think about a time in history when that same type of scenario played out before.
Right.
You see? And most times it's something that's documented that we can go find. So you have to figure out what's the significance of the place it happened in.
Montgomery, Alabama.
In Montgomery, Alabama. Why there?
They was on the boat ride, Harriet Tubman.
They was on the Harriet Tubman. That's the name of the boat.
Deep.
Amazing. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying. So people, there's some research that needs to be done so that we can further understand what sparked that, because believe it or not, those that don't want you to understand are already researching why that happened. Because something like that, especially, and then there's a third aspect. What type of ritual is being done off of that energy? Because it's in the mainstream media. So normally when our people have such an excitement, the last time when they make such a big deal out of our people, like the shooter in Chicago and DC, remember that, the black shooter in DC? They made a big deal out of that because they ran a ritual off his energy. Okay, so, but when we're looking at what happened in Montgomery, it was a social media blow up, right? And then it became the major news on the mainstream media. So we have to get out ahead of the energy to figure out what energy pushed that forward, and then to study that energy to see what we can pull from it as a people. It's dangerous. Look how quick Walmart put chairs on sale. They all over their website.
Sam's Club, Amazon,
Kmart, they everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Everybody's taking some of their energy. You understand? So why aren't we?
Awareness.
You're right.
That's the word of the day.
That's the word of the day. But they did their thing. Why would them people come on live looking all beat up like that afterwards? Because
I guess they felt like they, you know how they are. They want to be the victim. But you should have thought about that.
He might have two napkins up his nose, two black. That's what you get. Now,
let that man do his job.
Yeah, let that man do his job. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's great. You should have got you some of this coffee. It's not good.
I got some. I ain't trying to be up all night and all day.
You mean all day and all night? We in the daytime. So next question, what you said now?
Anyways, those are our current events.
Oh, those are the current events for today? Okay. Any of those that you would like to expound on?
Nope.
You sure? Okay. So, because you're heavy in the church, I want to ask you this.
Okay.
Not the start name, but whatever.
Oh Lord, what is it?
Do you feel like Christian women try to dominate their men?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is the mindset that most Christian women have?
I feel like it depends on the person, like the female.
But overall,
I honestly don't know.
You don't know why that is?
I don't do it. I don't think the women I know in my life, they don't do it, but I've seen it done before.
You've seen it done?
Yeah.
A lot. So why? Let's see. I want to make sure I'm asking the question the right way, so it don't come off wrong. But in a lot of relationships when it comes to Christianity, you see a lot of the man taking more of a humble role or a submissive role. That makes sense. And the wife is more boisterous or outspoken in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to our people. So where does that behavior come from? And how do you think that behavior affects the dynamic of the church family?
I mean, she could have been a masculine woman to begin with. She just masked it. Because, you know, when you're dating somebody, you don't show them your real self. You show them your representative. So she could have been representing a feminine woman to begin with, but she really became and showed and stayed true to her masculine self after everything's all done with.
So what made her masculine in the beginning?
What made her masculine?
To begin with?
Probably her upbringing and then social media. You know, they project masculinity in women.
Okay. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Then again, you are who you attract.
That is true.
A masculine woman, you're going to attract a feminine man.
Okay, if a woman is let me ask this: if a woman is masculine, if that is her dynamic, so to speak, is it not important for her to understand where the dynamic come from, like what took a hold? Because this is why I ask this. In nature, you're given a certain chemical makeup,
right,
that makes you a woman and me a man.
Chromosomes,
right? Chromosomes and estrogen and whatever.
Yeah.
You're given that in a certain sequences to make sure that your body does a certain thing, your mind does a certain thing, your emotions do a certain thing, right? So at what point does masculine come into that?
It gotta be her upbringing, and because as you are born and raised into a family, you are taught the dynamic of being a woman, how to take care of yourself. If you raised by the right people, I'm just saying. But you are pretty much taught how to take care of yourself as a woman, how to carry yourself as a woman. So I feel like between after she learned and then becoming like a grown woman, she just was like, okay, well, I don't really like how I was doing that. Let me do it my way. And again, social media, like, oh, this is how real women do. But you can't be a masculine woman wanting a masculine man, because it don't mix. It don't mix.
So then does that mean that being masculine is a taught behavior?
Yeah.
So it's not a part of her genetic makeup?
No.
Okay. That's good to know. That's real good to know. Being masculine from a woman is not a part of a woman's genetic makeup.
Right.
So why do we have all these women changing their sex?
Taught behavior. They don't like something about themselves, or they just don't like what it is to be a woman. So they're just like, okay, I'm just going to change my sex.
And that goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
That's both ways. Because God makes no mistakes.
Right.
Nature doesn't make mistakes. So if you're bred as something, or your genetic makeup is something, then that is what you are. Right?
Yeah.
So how do we have all these reverse-minded people?
Learned behavior.
From learned behavior. Now the question is, who's teaching you?
Social media. You got to think about it. Most homosexual men, who do they act like?
They act like women.
Okay, but how do they learn it? How do they get their mannerisms, stuff like that?
They have to learn from women.
They learned it. So it got to be learned behavior.
See, this go for all them people out there that'll be like, I was born like this and all that. It's impossible.
No, it's impossible.
That's impossible. That's fluff. You can never be born that way. It doesn't work like that.
It's learned behavior.
It's a learned behavior. It has to be learned behavior. This is why, you see, now I'm pluck a few guitar strings with this one. This is why all the way until the 70s, to be homosexual or gay or lesbian was considered a mental illness.
Right.
all the way until the 70s, all the way until they got an agenda. And I'm talking about this on my show. So all the way up until that point, it was a mental illness because to say that you flow outside of the chemicals that the universe gives you to become a man or a woman. But the universe made a mistake because in my mind, I'm really this. Agendas.
Because you got to think about it. Think about a little boy who's always around nothing but girls, like his sisters, his mom, stuff like that. Eventually, he'll become feminine because he's like, okay, this is the behavior, this is how I'm supposed to act. Nobody has ever shown me how a man is supposed to act. So that's how he usually becomes feminine.
That makes sense. And vice versa.
It's deep.
Okay, but I got another question though.
Okay.
So a lot of us come from single parent households, and most of the time the single parent is a mother. So if a woman is acting like a man, where is she learning from?
It can be learned, but it also can be just a defense mechanism.
Your defense is to act like a man that you've never seen a man to learn from. Where did you learn that behavior? Because it came from somewhere.
She had to be raised from a man or a woman.
So she learned it from her mama.
She learned it from her mom. And then her mom learned it. So it has to be passed. It goes deep.
Okay.
It runs deep.
I'm just asking questions. I just want to know.
It's okay. It runs deep.
Okay. Amazing. As you can see, the phone number is up there. If you have any commentary that you would like to say, you can definitely give us a call at that number, 850-221-0396.
Make that hotline bling.
And y'all call in and give y'all opinion on what we're talking about because it's very interesting. And, of course, we can't cover it all in one show, but it still needs to be talked about and discussed because it's becoming a lifestyle.
Right.
And not only are we being pressured into accepting certain lifestyles, our children are going to grow up none the wiser. They're going to think that this is normalized everyday life.
I feel for the kids because, no lie, I picked this girl up from school. I was doing Uber, and she was just in high school. And she was like, guess what happened today? I don't feel safe. I was like, why? What happened? She was like, I went to the bathroom today, and there was this boy in the bathroom. Well, a feminine presenting male. I was like,
what?
So you mean to tell me it was a boy in your bathroom using it? She's like, yeah. I was like, and you ain't reported? She's like, no, because I thought he was a feminine presenting male. I said, Lord, the Lord is coming back.
Oh, my God.
I was like, you didn't feel unsafe or anything? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, that would have been the perfect time for you to go report it.
Right.
I was like, y'all don't have like a resource officer or nothing?
No, because you're condemned. You have to accept. We've been taught to accept these things. Okay, so this whole agenda, I know we're not talking about this. We're talking about law of attraction. We got a lot of stuff about that. But that whole thing was ushered in, first of all, through Obama. And you saw how black folks was when Obama was, we got a black president, this and the third. But we didn't study his policies. We didn't look at what his agenda was or what he was there to do. We didn't pay attention to that. So through Obama, now we have gay marriage. Right? So, which wasn't a thing before. So now we have gay marriages allowed and accepted. When you allow this thing to happen, that was a testing ground to see what the people are going to stand for, what they're not going to stand for. When you allow these things, now mind you now, your mom and your grandparents would have never voted.
No.
Okay, you see what I'm saying? So we understand that. So there's been a disconnect between those generations and the new ones, right? So you got to test the ground. You put Obama in there, blackface, and then you make all these black people accept him because we're the majority in the country. Then, while they've accepted him and that's died down, now he starts pushing all these policies through, right? Now we got gay marriage. Now the gay marriage is going a step further because now it's infiltrating schools, it's in churches, it's in basketball, football, track, baseball. You can't get away from it now. It's everywhere. Everywhere that there's an opportunity to broadcast it, it is everywhere. Since when? This ain't been nothing but a few years. Trump only did one one term, right? Obama did 2, right?
Right.
So it's only been within the past, 12 years to 15 years that all of this has become a mainstream thing now. So when you go into those realms to look at that and look at what that means for our people and our children, we're continuously allowing these things to take a foothold where we stay, where we sleep.
Right.
That's what we're doing because our realm is the testing ground. You understand? So we're always doing ourselves a disservice, and we're attracting these negative things to ourselves because we're not in the proper standing ground mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And all those are invisible aspects when it comes down to attracting. We're so focused on the physical world that we can't see what's being done to us in the invisible realms.
Right. Talking heavy.
Talking heavy.
That's crazy. Reese Islam just went on an interview and just was speaking on that.
Really? I didn't see that one. I got to check it out.
You got to look at it.
Yeah, I got to check it out. But yeah, it's true. We're doing ourselves a disservice everywhere. Anyway, okay, we're going to continue. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, because we'll just be sitting up here talking. And our children are at risk.
Yeah.
They're really at risk. You know what I'm saying? We don't think so. We send them to school, and we don't understand what they're learning. We don't understand what they're learning about.
They ain't learning nothing.
Not learning nothing. Why is it all a computer?
Right.
Because it can be controlled from on high.
The basics.
That's right.
We learned the basics.
Right.
I hate to say it, but these kids now, they don't really know basics. Like, they don't know how to count money. I'm like, you how old? You don't know how to count money? Ain't y'all learning that in school? No, it's all electronic.
That's right.
Anybody could just rob you now because you don't know how to count money.
That's right. And what do you know about the digital world?
They know everything about the digital world.
Do they?
They come out the womb with a tablet in their face.
What do you know about the Federal Reserve Bank and the Social Security system? Now, you were brought up in that.
Yeah.
But you don't know anything about it.
Right.
So again, I ask you, what do the children know about the digital world? They don't know anything. They think that that's commonplace. They're going to be the ones that's more willing to give their consciousness to the computer.
Right.
Because
just like what you said. Once
Right.
they stop giving the money to the females, they start giving the money to the kids. Lord have mercy.
That's right. It's over.
It's over.
Because the kids they gonna give their brains over to the AI. You know what I'm saying?
They already doing
They
it.
already doing it. So what the parents gonna do? I gotta make money too. Well, give us your brain. Your children doing it. Think about it. Come on, man.
Dang, we down bad.
We down bad. We don't understand. Like, we don't understand. We don't understand at all. What? Ooh.
All right. So you ready for your first question?
First question. We done asked like 20
Those are
already.
the current events.
Those are current events?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Oh, questions on topic. Okay, so here we go. Now we're getting into the questions about the law of attraction. But before we do that, where can they send their
questions
to?
You can send the questions to beautyandbrainspodcast@gmail.com.
And Facebook.
And Facebook.
Send
you
them on
can
Facebook
send them
as
to
well.
the inboxes. I'll look at them.
And
I'll put you on.
That's right. Also, if you have any questions that are just burning you so bad like that in the moment, you can definitely call us.
Call us.
At that number right there at the bottom of the screen right down there. You can give us a call at that number, and you'll be able to tap in with us live. You can give your comments, ask questions. Even if you want to advertise your business that's local in the area.
As long as I get a discount,
As long as we get a discount, it's all good. So all y'all food people and be cooking and doing all that stuff, I suggest y'all call in, give your advertisement.
Give yourself a shameless plug.
You know what I'm saying? And then we'll be there to see you redeem that discount.
Yep.
Okay, so what time is it?
9:40.
It's 9:40. Okay, we 10 minutes off. All right, so the floor is Moel's, and I'm here for answering questions today.
All right, so our first topic of the day is the laws of attraction, because it is cuffing season, and we don't want you to be out here looking crazy, because everybody needs love. So, who are you attracting, and what does your energy say about you?
Oh, me? That's the question?
That's a question.
Who am I attracting? I don't know.
What type of females you attract?
I attract female. Well, okay, let me be honest.
I didn't say anything. I just said.
Up until a certain point in my life, I attracted females that represented what my mother was to me, and that was toxic. Just being honest, I've attracted toxic women.
Okay.
Because I was still vibrating on that same level. They only came to me because of how I was moving.
Okay.
And so therefore I attracted toxicity to myself. And in those times my energy spoke about me exactly what I was. It was toxic because people are a reflection.
Right. So
if they were toxic, I was toxic. And you know what I'm saying? If things about them or aspects about them was off or messed up, then that only meant that I was messed up. And so now I'm attracting intelligent, driven, goal-oriented, and life-understanding women into my life.
Okay, girls.
And I had to recluse, or in order for that type of energy to dissipate, because when you're pulling, or when you're out there in the world is going to show you exactly who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because like they say, you are the company you keep, and
right.
Birds of a feather flock together, stuff like that. But when you recluse yourself and allow your energy to drain out completely, and then fill yourself with what you think you need, and then step back out into the world, then it could either show you a different picture or show you still stuff that needs to be worked on. So my energy says that I am healing. I don't feel like anybody is ever healed. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That I'm healing, and my energy says about me that I'm doing the work and willing to do the work to get to the next plateau of my life.
Okay.
So what's your energy say about you, and who you attracting?
I feel like I attract dudes that, what you say, thugs?
You attract thugs.
I'm not attracted to thugs. Like, if you sagging, I'm immediately going to pretend like you don't even exist. I'm going to look straight past you. Yeah.
No saggers.
We on that type of time. I feel like I attract dudes that always need healing in some type of way. Because I feel like my energy is healing. It's kind of peaceful, it's chill, so people like look for that. But I feel like I always go on empty because I'm getting pulled in different directions.
So you're like you're a nurturer?
Yeah. So
do you give the energy you give, you don't get it back?
Right.
I see. So what about now? Is that up until this point, or have you?
I feel like it's been going on since like the beginning of the year, but I feel like now I'm in this space where I tend to myself first before I even try to give energy, because I'm like, okay, if I don't have this amount of energy to get to myself, I'm not finna do it.
Right. Yeah. Which is what the Bible be saying about cup runneth over.
Right.
Then you have energy to share with other people. I feel that. I feel that. I did like this little thing for Lionsgate or whatever, where you write down what you want to see, and then you fold it towards you, and then you burn it or whatever. And that was like but when I went into doing that, it was all about, I thought it was selfish what I was writing, but it was what was coming to my heart to write. And it was about myself and attracting what I need so I can be full. And then in that space of being full, it's in doubt, without a doubt, it's going to run over. And when it run over, then that same blessing that I'm asking for myself, I can give to other people.
Right. That's what you need.
So you got to be selfish.
You have to be selfish now. Because at the end of the day, if you giving and giving and giving to other people, nobody really is going to give back to you. And it is what it is.
And that answers that. That's right. So look what goes into your first question. That's why.
Be the person. Yeah.
What healing?
That was my note. Be the person you want before you can get them. Healing women attract the most draining men.
Healing women attract the most draining men. And we just said why.
Yeah. Because
most healing women find their feminine energy and they make that switch over into becoming more nurturing, because that's an aspect of the feminine principle, is to be a nurturer. But when you're dealing with a lot of subconsciously feminine men or needy, all these emotional men, they come to drain out what the healing woman has accrued for herself because of what she's becoming, and they're not becoming anything. So as she's becoming the nurturer, they should be becoming the protector and the provider. And
take my space.
It's only one that's growing and not the other one most times. Remember, I don't know if you remember this. Like what I saw when I was coming up, a lot of times the men follow the women into the church. So like the mother would be saved first, and then next thing you know, her husband would be like, "Oh, I just got saved." Like, you know what I'm saying? Because the woman sets the dynamic a lot of time in our everyday black person life. It's the woman setting the dynamic. So if the woman is healing and she's attracting draining men, it's because a level of her is healing. Does that make sense?
Right.
So once she gets to the point where that's no longer powerful in her life, she's healed from that. You know what I'm saying? So you can do the work alone, but you got to still be tested, if that makes sense.
Right.
And that's why a lot of healing people attract draining, because we're still we got to make sure that we're healed. And you'll know. Then when you see, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm good on that. I'm going to the next person. Okay, now they're healed. Let me send them somebody that matches that. Then they're going to bring you a different life lesson.
Deep.
So, okay, I'm going to ask you this one. So feminine women attract masculine men. Masculine women attract feminine men. Wait a minute. I guess that's not a question.
It's just my notes.
Oh, that's just notes. Oh, okay. So what type of significant other do you want to attract, and why?
I want a masculine one. A masculine one that knows my limits, and he's not draining.
What do you mean by draining?
Like, I can't always give. It got to be some type of reciprocation involved.
Okay. So you want him to be masculine. Okay. There's a lot of females that think they know what a man is supposed to be. What does that look like for you? If you were to build your perfect man.
To build my perfect man.
To build your perfect man, what would he look like? Like, how would he be?
Okay, we doing his attractiveness, like what he look like the outside or the inside?
I'm talking about the whole bubble, because you know what you want as a person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, relax. That's the first thing. Calm down.
I'm just saying.
It's Saturday morning.
Okay, so this is not for y'all to come shoot y'all shot. I'm just saying. But if for the outside, he gotta look like something. He can't be, a throwaway. He can't be indecent. He gotta be cleaned up. He can't be out here looking dusty. Okay. Hard worker. He got to be consistent. He has to be patient, because my time now is just like that. Like, if I'm over here, I'm at school. I'm here, like, I'm all over the place. Be patient with me, please. Okay. Let's see. You definitely have to be funny, like I said. But you have to be like a protector. Like, if we out and about, do the simple things. If I'm on the sidewalk, be on the outside of me, like towards the street. Don't be having me out here looking crazy.
Oh, no.
Open the door for me or something. I mean, let me be passenger princess. What else? Check on me if I need stuff like that. Don't make me have to, like, ask you to do things, if that makes sense.
You talking about, like, taking out the trash and all that?
I mean, you don't even have, that's like something simple. Anybody can take out the trash. I'm talking about, like, okay, I'm in nursing school, like, I be running 1,000,000 miles per hour. Just text me throughout the day, like, hey, did you, do you need me to get you something before you come home? Stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be, I don't know.
You got to be a dried up.
I like a simple person. I'm a simple person.
So chivalry is important.
Yeah, chivalry is important.
to open your door for you. Have you ever had somebody open your door for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So chivalry is important. Driven, patient, kind, and handsome. Okay. What about when it comes down to like, well, no, you said you want them to be consistent, driven. So you're pretty
level-headed too.
Level-headed. Okay.
And smart.
Where do you normally find those men at?
Where I normally find them?
Yeah, those type of men.
Well, right now I'm not looking for them. So.
But I'm saying, if you was looking, like, where would be your first place to go to find a man like that? Like what you're describing in your mind. Who?
The bookstore.
The bookstore. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Man.
I could be an old woman in a young person's body.
I mean, you can. You have that right. But most wouldn't say the bookstore.
Why wouldn't they say the bookstore?
Because most people don't read. They don't read books.
I like a man that read books. I read books. I'm a bookworm.
And that's good. But most people don't read books. So let's say if you weren't a bookworm like that, right? And you were like a club hopper, or you know what I'm saying, you do your nursing thing and then you like go home, like go to work, go home. You just be chilling. Where do you think you would find a man like that? Please don't say church.
I wasn't gonna say church. Trust me, Lord have mercy. That's a whole rant on that church house. You hear me?
Okay.
But
so where would you find them?
I would probably find them at like Publix or
At Publix.
Yeah. Publix. I'm just saying the grocery store. Let me not be specific, but the grocery store, out and about, gas station. I'm just playing. We're not going to do gas station. Sam's Club.
Do not say Walmart.
I don't even go in Walmart. I don't even look in Walmart's direction.
Okay, so what you telling me is these men are doing chores.
I mean, they got to eat. They got to do stuff for their house. I mean, especially if they single. They doing single men stuff. Home Depot, Lawz.
Did you hear? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. But so you looking for this man in the grocery store. Publix is a grocery store for people that don't know out there. So you looking for this man in the grocery store, just out and about.
Hey, I'm not looking for nobody.
You have to be.
Somebody got to be looking for me.
No. Okay, look.
Okay.
Listen, if you have preferences that you're bringing to the table, then you're looking for those preferences.
Am I?
You have to be. That's what you say that you would desire, right?
I desire it, but I'm not finna be out here just breaking my neck, pulling up at every Publix in the city looking for somebody.
Then how you gonna meet the person?
So that's what I got to do this weekend?
Well, what I'm saying is Publix is broad. You know how many Publix in Florida?
Heck yeah.
It's a lot of them.
Is somebody calling?
Somebody calling. Let's see.
Let's see them. What's happening?
What's up?
Hey, Oscar. Maybe I'm a little late, but I got a question.
Okay. Oh, who's calling first?
This Lena.
Oh, Lena, what's up?
What's happening, bro?
Nothing much, man. What's good with you?
Not much. I'm watching the show, and your co-host had said something about she said she's not looking, and you were saying like, nah, you are. My thing is, it's like you don't necessarily have to look for anything if you're vibrating on that level. So when she was saying she's not necessarily looking, like that would make sense if she herself is in total alignment. It's automatically going to come to her with the laws of attraction because she's already vibrating on that level. So she can find that person in the public. She can find that person in the library. She can find that person in the gas station or wherever she may be because she's automatically vibrating on that level. So
right.
You better put some respect on Lena.
All right, that's it.
with the cleanup, we appreciate that, Lena.
Thank
and
you.
that makes
All right.
perfect sense. Was that all you had to say, Lena? Hey, Lena, shout yourself out, man. Shout yourself out. What you do, you know what I'm saying? Where you go?
Oh, well, I'm Lena. I'm all the way in Georgia, calling from ATL. I do photography and videography and
and stuff like that.
Go ahead.
So y'all can follow her.
Lena.
If you want to shout
Lena
out your
McNeil on everything. Lena
on
McNeil on
everything.
IG. Lena McNeil on Facebook. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, bam. All right, sis. I appreciate you calling in.
Period.
All
I
right,
love you,
great show, y'all.
Lena.
All right, later on.
Yep, yep.
So,
So
boo.
you had some backup.
I did and
Okay.
did.
Okay, so you can be vibrating and attract what you want by vibrating on that level.
Right.
Okay.
Heavy.
Okay. That's real heavy.
Heavy.
Okay, and I agree with that too. You're right. You're absolutely right. So that means that you've already, if you're vibrating on that level, then that means that you've already done the work to heal yourself. And so you're healed at that point.
But nobody's ever completely healed, though.
But you're healed of the things that would bring you down in a relationship.
Right. Heavy.
Okay.
I'm a big stepper now.
I understand that. I understand that.
Big stepper.
But if you've been healed, then that means you've already been tested too as well, right?
Yeah.
And you passed your test. All right. We
I better put some respect on my name.
we can roll with
now.
that. So you can attract what you want out here in the world.
You
You just have to
can.
make sure that you're on the vibration and on the wavelength for what it is that you're looking for. All right. Shout out Lena McNeil for that commentary. Appreciate that.
Love you, Lena.
Okay. And what's your next question?
My next question. Okay, you got that one. Okay, so have you ever been in love with someone, and how did you know if it was love versus a crush?
Okay, I have felt in love with someone before, and I knew it was love. If I go by the feeling, the way that you feel on the inside with the butterflies or whatever, you still get that feeling when you think it's love. That person excites you, and you can be in a whole room full of people, and all you see is them. So that's the love phase, which normally lasts like a year, 2 years, and then you just like what, like, get an attitude with them, whatever. But and I knew it was love based on those things. Whenever I have a crush on somebody, it's normally just mental. The stuff you think about mentally is no real excitement or feeling that motivates the thought. Does that make sense? So it's like, oh man, they cute, or I'm stricken by them because of this. But I know I don't love that person. I don't have that type of reaction. It's just up in my mind. So that's the difference between love and a crush,
Okay.
I think. What about you?
I've been in love before, and I mean it was deep. I mean this man had me on FaceTime every day for hours. I'm talking about 20-some hours.
What?
It was love.
A day?
Yes.
So while you at work, you on the phone?
No.
I'm about to say.
I would get off the phone to go to school. I would get off the phone and go to work. But he like knew my schedule because we was like in good communication, because that's how I am. But as soon as I get off, he's calling, checking on me to make sure I made it to my car safely. I make sure I made it home safely. And then you just carry on conversation, or he just, if I was going to see him, he would be on FaceTime, like literally show me your location so I know where you at, stuff like that, on FaceTime with me, making sure like, okay, I got my eyes on you both ways, so if something happened, I know where you at. Like, he was that type of dude.
Okay. So he was a protector. So how did his energy make you feel like you were in love?
It made me safe. It made me feel 100% I could be myself with this person. And it just was like a good feeling. Like, you know how you get into a relationship with somebody, you're like, dang, I don't know if I can be my 100% myself. That's how it was with him. Like, I could be myself. I didn't have to second guess nothing, stuff like that. And it was pretty cool.
So how come y'all not married?
You gotta ask him that.
Wait, hold on now. So have y'all ever had that conversation?
We had every day, well, almost every day, at least every other week, we would have the conversation about marriage, what life would be like, stuff like that. Because he knew I was in nursing school. So he would be like, okay, how would this work? If you finna go be a traveling nurse, how would this work? Like, if we were to have a family, would you still travel, or would you, like, be home and, like, just take a job wherever? And I would be like, I would be home. I would be, like, based somewhere. I wouldn't go travel, especially if I had kids.
Right.
I wouldn't want to do that.
So why y'all not together?
This is gonna be a story for story for story. But if y'all got time, I listen. Okay, so we're not together in short. I'll make it short because you know how like when you in a relationship and old people or old flames start just coming out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened on my end. And I don't know what it is about me, but I'm just a cordial person. I'm just nice. So, of course, I was talking to him, being cordial. But I feel like now that I look back on it, I shouldn't have never done that because I was in a relationship. And I just know he knew about it, and we had a conversation. And then that conversation was, okay, he was like, okay, are y'all together? Is this your man's? Because how you going to be with him and you with me? And I was just like, no, I'm not with him. I'm just being cordial. And then that's when he was like, okay, well, if you want to be with me, we can't do this because that's a deal breaker for me. And I understood it. And at that time, I was just like, you know what? I was kind of weighing my options. Like, you know how like you do like your pros and cons? Like, okay, if this person does all this for me, but this person doesn't do this. That's what I was doing. I was like mentally like, okay, I don't want to be with this person, the old flame, because I was like, he's a ghoster. Like, he just ghosted me. So I had already made up in my mind and in my heart that I didn't want to be with him. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I was like, this, whatever you got going on, whatever we got going on, this ain't going to work. So, and he understood it, and that was that. Mm-hmm. But I felt like it was a little bit too late. So when it came down to it, the man I was in a relationship with, he, along with like my friends, but he was just like, I don't know if we can be in a relationship anymore because of
that.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah.
So you had to let it go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man ain't gonna go for that.
Yeah.
No. Because I've had conversations about this too. Mm-hmm. Like, is it okay for, like, say for instance, if it's an open relationship, mm-hmm. and the man has like, say he has like women friends or whatever, and then the female's like, well, what if I have male friends the same way? Mm-hmm. Then if he's a man, he's gonna walk away. Right. It doesn't seem fair, mm-hmm. but ultimately, like we were talking in the beginning, mm-hmm. you can't deny nature. Right. And nature is always going to take precedence no matter how much we try to fight it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So our nature, our natural sense is to be territorial, mm-hmm. as a man, because once you go into a woman and you, let's say you have seed with that woman or you have a child with that woman, then your natural protection, your natural way is going to be to protect both of them, because that's considered to be, that is the producer of your mm-hmm. seed, and then there's your seed, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, for a woman, and we look at this in everyday dynamic, mm-hmm. A man will have children with multiple women, mm-hmm. and if the scenario is right, mm-hmm. you'll see those women coming together, mm-hmm. to work together for the betterment of all the children, mm-hmm. as a community. Mm-hmm. When they say it takes a community to raise a child. Right. So that nature is already in women, mm-hmm. to come together in spite of that situation. Mm-hmm. Men won't do that. We can't do that. You see most men saying, man, if that's another man's child, I ain't taking care of it. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But look at how women have the exact opposite energy. Mm-hmm. It could be a child from another woman. She'll befriend the woman, mm-hmm. and they'll grow to care about each other's well-being and way of life, because y'all are able to connect emotionally. Mm-hmm. So now that woman's child is also her child, mm-hmm. and her child is also that woman's child. Mm-hmm. So between the two of them children straight. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right. Men won't. We normally don't do that. Mm-hmm. You know, nature. Mm-hmm. In this new era of understanding love and sex and all this other type of stuff, the toxicity is through the roof. We getting all the toxic stuff through the roof. Mm-hmm. If he ain't making much money, I'm making. He is. If he don't do me like this, then I'm already looking to this one. That's not the nature of a woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's the nature of a thotty.
Hi, girl.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, excuse me. This coffee got me going ham over here. But that's not the nature of a woman. Mm-hmm. Because certain moral codes that our women held up to a certain degree, mm-hmm. have all but vanished in our own women. Meanwhile, the other nations are living like how your grandparents and great-grandparents was.
Right.
They're learning home ec. They're learning how to sew, learning how to cook better. You know what I'm saying? They're learning. At least they learning. They may not be doing it right, but at least they're trying to learn.
These women don't know how to cook out here.
But your grandma did.
Heck yeah.
How many of us out there, by a show of hands, can say, "Man, my grandma used to cook some food"? It's almost all of us. You know what I'm saying? Where's that going?
Let me tell you something about Bertha. Bertha cooked breakfast. When breakfast was done, she started lunch. When lunch was done, she started dinner. And then she stayed by herself, but she made enough for people to come and get a plate.
That is very true. That's very true. It was different.
And it was leftovers, but please believe the next morning she finna make a fresh meal.
That's right. Nah, that's too much work now. This what be going on. If I'm making this stuff up, then please call in and correct me, because there's too much work. Why am I gonna put all that work? You want what is the thing that said? You want wife duties without a ring.
This goes along with the topic.
Okay, all right.
You have to be a wife before you get a ring. Now, I'm not saying, pick me, this, that, and the other.
Talking heavy.
But I'm just saying basic homemaking skills, cooking, cleaning, that's a wife. So if you don't got those skills before you go down the aisle, I suggest you turn around, go turn that dress back in. Child, these are big misconceptions about marriage. Like, are you getting married just for the ring? For the wedding? The glamour of it?
Yep. I'm not going to say nothing. That's right.
Marriage is hard work.
It is work.
It started right then and there.
That's very true.
It don't start, child.
So it's better to come in with skills.
All of it.
So technically, you're not giving anybody wifely favorite when you're in a relationship, because this is what the man is shopping for. Look, a woman can't marry herself.
Sure can't.
A man has to pick you to marry.
Right.
And if that man is a man, then he's going to be looking for certain qualities that he would like to have going into life.
Right. He ain't finna pick no Jada Waiter. He ain't finna pick no hot girls. He's finna pick a wife.
You said who is Jada Waiter?
Jada Waiter was a influencer.
Oh, influencer. Oh, looks like we got another phone call. Hold on one second.
Talk to me.
Hello. Hello. Hey, who's calling?
This is April.
Hey.
April the Don.
Hey, April. Oh, what's up? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. I had to disconnect my Bluetooth.
Oh, okay.
I just want to speak on these modern day women. So,
okay.
You guys says women don't cook 3 meals a day anymore.
Sure don't.
I just know that times have evolved. I'm not cooking 3 meals a day. I don't think it's necessary. And 3 meals a day, our grandparents also suffered with hypertension, diabetes, so many comorbidities. So I think it's the woman's job to make sure her family is healthy as well.
Right. I agree.
So things have changed since back in the day.
So you
also.
Okay. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. I also want to speak on like women and standards. Now, I just got out of a relationship, and I just think everybody's situation is different. I'm down to earth. I'm not really looking right now, but I think everybody's past reflects on how they respond today. So I'm just going to say this. My last relationship, you can be down to earth and helping and, try to be a partner or go into a partnership in your relationship. But as a woman, I feel like a man's supposed to come already together because he has to leave the household. So my last relationship, I kind of found myself doing too much as the woman. And when I say that, I almost felt like a social worker. At the end, now that I can go back and reflect on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think having standards are important. It just depends. A man also must know who he is as a man and what he stands for.
Right.
And that, it's so toxic now. It's really not. I don't think nobody. It's just between the media and all this other stuff going on. It's horrible, as you guys see it.
That's true.
True. Mm-hmm.
That's very true. And that actually comes back to the topic, which was what are you attracting? Because that goes equally for men and women together. You know what I'm saying? Because men are out here attracting toxic women, and it seems like they can't find the ones that are wholesome, that have morals, that are ready for something different in their life because of what the media is bringing to us every day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's scary. It's very scary.
It really is.
So, you just got to love yourself at the end of the day and just be patient.
Right.
And pray about it.
That's right.
No aggression. No, I'm not aggressive at all. I'm enjoying this, actually. Next time when I do date, I want to do it correctly. You know? I don't want to go in being dominant, as you guys spoke on, trying to take care of everything. Feel like a man got to be a man.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
First.
And then also,
and the woman will follow.
That's very true, because in the last show we was talking about courting instead of dating.
Right.
So you want to be courted.
You want to dig for that ring, girl.
To get that ring, that should bring the proper man to you too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to say. I'm enjoying y'all's show.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Call in whenever you feel the need to. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Deep.
Very, very interesting.
Talking heavy this morning.
That's right. So it is. So what she was saying was that she doesn't agree with the 3 meals a day.
Oh, I was just using that example.
Oh, using an example.
Heck yeah.
But at the same time though, well, yeah, times are different. So I guess with the need to have to do that type of activity is not the same. Mm-hmm. But the mentality for your family's well-being should still remain. Because what she was saying was that the woman should still want her family to be healthy and whole and complete, which may not be the 3 meals a day because we have so many different options to choose from now. Right. But you still want the same type of outlook when it comes down to your family dynamic and how you want your family to represent you. If I'm getting that correctly.
You getting it? Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So do you feel like, because she also says she feels like a man should come whole, which goes into what we were talking about with law of attraction, and a person working on themselves. If a person is still, or if you meet somebody that say has, for your foundational qualities, they have all except one, or they're working on something, or something is in progress, do you feel like that person is somebody that's to be denied until they fix that? Or are you willing to take the ride with them into fixing that?
When we talking about dating, you could just go at it. But if you're talking about courting, like we said, you gotta be denied. Because at the same time, you should be still working on yourself too, especially if you're trying to get to marriage.
So you think it'll be healthier for women to actually deny men that come incomplete?
Yeah.
What about vice versa?
Same thing.
But how is a man to know when we don't look for the same things in a woman? For instance, if a woman doesn't have, if she's not put together financially, most time when she meets a man, we can work on that. The type of, or the things that she's required to have as a woman going into the man are not the same things physically and tangibly. So she could be an incomplete female and he's still willing to love her where she is because of who she is and not what's with her. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Does that now negate the majority of women who are looking for marriage? A man searches for a wife. A woman hopes to be married. Right. So does that take or remove marriage from the mental of majority of these women now if they know that they're coming incomplete?
I feel like it does. But again, if you want the man to come into the relationship as a whole or whole and healed, you got to do your own personal work And if you feel like you already are whole and healed, it's just a simple conversation y'all can have. Especially if y'all working towards marriage, if y'all are courting.
If we're courting.
Just communicate.
Oh, that's a whole nother topic.
A problem will get fixed if y'all just communicate.
That's a whole nother show. Communication. The whole show could be on communication. Okay. So communication goes hand in hand with healing. It goes hand in hand with longevity in relationships. Communication. After you've already done the work to heal yourself from your previous timelines. See, look, this the thing that kind of confused me on that, because this is the type of person I am. Whenever I have an issue with somebody, I try not to bring that issue to somebody else. I try.
Okay.
It's, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's human for us to base what we're dealing with off of what we've dealt with.
Okay.
That's a normal human thing. So I try not to take the same feelings that I had in that previous relationship and bring that into this new relationship if I can help it. It's hard to do, right?
Excuse me.
How do you deal with dating and toxic people from the past? Like you was talking about your ex before. So you were cordial to that person.
That's cordial. I'm
Right.
always cordial.
But being cordial or nice to that person brought a negative end for what you were dealing with.
Right.
Right. So how do you deal with that, with those situations that may pop up that were toxic before? How do you put those things behind you finally and allow those things to rest?
Well, for now, moving forward, I just have to move differently. Like I have to make sure if this is going to be a relationship that I know is heading towards the future, towards marriage, I gotta immediately cut them off. Immediately. Especially when I get wind or when I get feelings that it's coming towards some type of marriage or something serious, I gotta cut them off.
Okay.
Block 'em.
Now we got to go heavy. You were being cordial to your ex. Was it because there were still feelings for your ex there? Be honest now.
For being honest, I feel like there's no like deep feeling for him. But I feel like it was just a crush, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, I got a little puppy love for you, but compared to how I feel for this person is nothing. Because this person was like, he captivated my mind before he captivated my heart. And that's deep.
That is deep.
If you can do that.
I understand.
That's deep.
So then how did the ex even come into existence?
He came to existence by email.
But I'm saying, like, if he captures your mind before your heart, then how did your ex even get the opportunity to come in there and toxify the situation?
How did he do it?
How did he even? Because if your heart was secure with the other person, then the ex wouldn't even have the opportunity.
Right. That's how I feel. Like,
he had the opportunity.
I kept telling him, I was like, he don't have a chance on you. This is you, and this is him. He don't have a chance. Like, come on now.
But the situation is, where is he? He's gone.
Right.
So that means the ex had the opportunity.
He didn't. If I tell you to your face, we can't do this. I don't know what this is, but I'm not finna do this with you.
Right.
I'm happy. I'm good. I'm good, love, and joy. If I tell you that to you, I mean it. And I mean it in the most calmest way possible. No smiles and no giggles. I'm serious.
Okay. See, now, and see, I bet you for a lot of women out there, they're gonna agree with you. Because once I say what I say, but from a man,
he ain't having it.
It don't equate the same way. Because what we're looking at for as men, we're looking at the actions.
Right. Because
anybody can say anything. But what your feet drive you towards is a different thing. So action means a lot. So as we're breaking down this law of attraction thing, the action is attraction too.
Okay.
So if you're willing to open yourself up to talk to that person and then walk to that person, then there's still an attraction that's pulling you towards that person.
It could be. I feel like it's diminished. Like I don't.
But it's diminished for you. So you're saying like I can go around this person and be absolutely fine. This is that and the third. Ain't no thing. Okay, no problem. But out of all of these hundreds of thousands of people that you can meet from anywhere, you're attracting to that person that you once had chemistry with. So for a man, it's like that person must still have some type of hold on you to pull you towards them, right? And then once that's identified, then the man gonna be like, well, if that person still has a hold on you in that way, then I don't need to be here. Because again, nature, we're all operating off nature. And a woman's nature is only to be able to produce one every so often. She can't produce 100,000. Meanwhile, a man can impregnate every day.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And it still won't hold the same. The reason I say that is because it doesn't hold the same value and weight. So because a woman innately knows that she can produce one, she's way more selective with what she wants to produce with. That makes sense.
It does.
Because you're looking for the richest stock, the highest stock you can find if you're going to create a child, right? That's the nature of a woman. Meanwhile, a man can say, I just need to just get this feeling off me and go through all these different women and only love one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And still have the ability to create one all those different times. But that's not the nature of a woman. So if the grass appears to be greener, or if there's a fluctuation in the grass being greener, it's due to attraction. You see why men be like, hell no, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Because we're thinking about the fact that most women have to be selective. And most women choose to be selective. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a little bit more looser when you're young, but the selection gets refined as you get older.
Right.
Right. So again, I ask you, if the guy that you were dealing with had such a solid hold on mind and heart, how did the ex get in there to begin with?
I honestly don't know.
See what I'm saying?
That's something I gotta really take a deep dive and look into. Because we all do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's innate because again we forget to understand our nature first as people. Do you know our people were polygamous by design? You can tell. I mean, just look out here. You can tell. We were polygamous by design. That's our original way. This is documented by the people that came over here from other places. They documented our lifestyle in order to copy it. Okay.
And we were polygamous by design. We only learned how to be monogamy and to be married unto one by Christian principle and by the media. So it made it popularized to have one woman and do this like this because everything else was against the other way. You know what I'm saying? When you go against everything, a lot of the things that are in this country that say we're against this and against that is normally has something to do with the original way that the people lived. You don't want those people to get powerful again.
So don't.
Look at how we create children. We won't stop creating children. You see us? We always having children.
Always.
They trying to get rid of the darkness, and we steady creating kids. You know.
Everybody got a little melanin in them now.
You understand me? So to say one, why would a person need to get married to one person? I know we segue in a little bit, but it's important to understand. A person needs to get married to one person when there's not enough resources.
Population control.
You understand? So if you're coming from a European design and you know that you're in the Caucasus Mountains where food doesn't grow plentiful and it's cold and it's not the habitat for it to create pineapples and berries and this, that's bananas. You don't get all that stuff in Europe. So there's not enough resources. So you need one wife. Y'all need to have one child because anything outside of that, we can't afford to feed it. You get what I'm saying? So now you've brought those principles, those type of dynamics into this space. But yet when we read the Bible, Abraham had multiple wives, David, Solomon, they all had multiple wives.
Concubines.
And they called them concubines, right? They had multiple women. Now all of a sudden that's the worst thing that could ever happen because now if a man can do it, guess what? I got to be able to do it too. That's mainstream media. That's the trick. Okay. Now you have to look at numbers. Remember we talked about that before. We have all these women out here in the world, right? However, every year there are more black boys that are born than girls, right?
Right.
But by the time they reach 20, half of the population is gone. Now you have the agenda of what we were talking about before with confusion of genome. Now you take another half of the half away, right? Then you take 30 to 40% of that remaining half and you put them in prison.
Right.
You understand? So what we're looking at is the movement that goes against God saying being fruitful and multiplying, right? Because to release all of that melanin into the world would be a dramatic shift to the entire population. We're going to impregnate everything.
Right.
Right? Okay. So what that means is that the women that are actively choosing for one potential partner for themselves screwed up. Where you going to get them from? You see how we're creating our environment around us? Attracting it. Where you going to get this man from that you described with such earnest and all these characteristics? Where is he going to come from when you're also helping people destroy your man? So where is he going to come from? How is he going to? I want to know. These dudes is out here wearing skinny jeans and wearing purses. Think about it. And they call themselves masculine.
No.
Okay. So where is he going to come from?
Not with skinny jeans on.
Skinny jeans and hoochie daddy shorts and purses, and they call them man bags.
Man bags.
Where is this man going to come from that a lot of women are looking for? Y'all hear that air flowing?
Yep.
You hear that air flowing? That's real. So we have to think about this stuff because that's what's going to help us to heal it.
Man.
We need each other more than we know.
We do.
Okay. So now, do you have another question?
I do.
Okay. All right. Do your thing.
What are your views on marriage?
Oh, I think we already kind of went there.
Okay. Skip.
Hold on. We did. We just talked about it.
Yeah. I'm skipping.
Okay.
Huge misconceptions of marriage. The rant part 2.
Huge misconceptions of marriage. Oh, you got notes here.
I do.
Okay. What's your first one? So these your notes anyway.
Okay, so I feel like a misconception of marriage is that it's all about the ring. It's always centered around the bride, and it's whatever she wants.
I thought that was true. That's not true?
No. It's about the groom, too.
When?
Who is the bride marrying?
Okay, but after that, then what?
Who is the bride marrying? It's about him, too.
I get that. But after who's the bride marrying, then what is for the groom?
What is for him?
Yeah, which part of that ceremony is for the groom after who the bride is marrying?
A lot of it.
Which part?
You got the reception. You got the vows.
That's not about the groom.
So you mean tell me the wedding is just, oh girl, let me look at your ring, let me look at your dress, girl.
What else would it be? Do you know that if outside of having a traditional wedding, that you can go, there's 2 other ways to get married?
Yeah, the courthouse.
You go to the courthouse and you get eloped,
right.
Or you live with each other at the same address for 10 years. It's called common law marriage. So why do most people go towards the big glitz and glam when we have an 85% divorce rate?
Because they marrying for the wrong reasons.
So who is it about then?
You just answered.
You know who it's about. You don't want to say it. So who?
Right.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So who is it about then?
The bride and her want.
That's right.
But it's not supposed to be like that.
Well, how it's supposed to be?
It's supposed to be 50-50. It's supposed to be about the couple becoming one and starting a new journey together. That's what it's supposed to be about.
You can pay $100-something and go downtown and do that.
That's what I'm saying, but that's how I feel.
So why do we go through such extravagant?
I feel like it's kind of like competition. Like, oh, I want my wedding to be outdo all weddings. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Competition amongst who?
Mm-hmm. Folk.
See, you don't want to say it. How you go? You got to go there with me. You got to answer the question.
It's
because
conversation about folk. Because, you know, I feel like it's really the people that be invited to your wedding. Like, they go to it, they be like, oh, okay, this cute. But they be hating on the low and taking notes. And then when they pop out married, they try to outdo what you did.
But who cares about that?
I honestly don't care.
I'm saying generally.
I
who
feel like
normally
the
cares
people
about that?
care about that. The people that I'm talking about, they know who they talking about.
But
They know who I'm talking about.
She know what I'm talking about. Who normally cares what other people think?
Those folk.
See, you in that mess. That's fine. Because you avoid the question, but that's fine.
I'm answering your question.
Okay,
I'm just speaking subliminally like I'm on
Women are normally in competition with each other when it comes down to that type of thing. That's the normal process.
Go ahead, then.
Since she didn't want to say it.
I didn't.
Men are not in competition about their marriage and the ceremony. We don't care about that.
They don't.
We really don't care about that.
If you left it up to men, they would just go get their little marriage certificate
And come
get
back
your
onto
ring
the house.
and come on back to the house. Y'all may have a reception, y'all may not.
Right. Or we'll probably go take a vacation together.
Right.
And we'll disappear together.
Simple.
Keep it simple.
But women, we gotta be over the top, child.
When I heard
Girl.
that photographers for weddings, 15 grand, 10 grand to take some pictures.
Yeah.
So
Big business.
it's big business. And whenever something has big business, it also has an agenda attached to it. Okay.
And what's the agenda?
We just talked about it. It's creating. We have an 85% divorce rate in this country.
Yes.
85%.
That's bad.
That is very, very high compared to how many marriages. They have a wedding season. You know that? That's when most people get married during, from Valentine's Day to like a certain time in April, something like that, May or whatever. I think.
It's like a little bit later.
Going to
It's
June.
all through the summer too. You know they
Marriage
want
season.
weddings on the beach. I don't
Just
know
for them
why.
people to turn around 2 years
Just
later.
for them to turn around and
You see what I'm saying? So what is the call for that type of thing? It's just to show off
right.
popularity. Okay, then when you do stuff for popularity, somebody has to be deceived. Look at music. It's the same. It's all the same. All of it works together. You know what I'm saying?
Same lyrics, same hooks, same beats. Y'all just doing samples at this point.
Same performance styles. People don't even want to go to concerts no more because those are not performers. Those are not artists.
They just lip singing.
That's right. And they're there to make the money. That's what music for us has become. A bunch of people just here to make some money. So they're not artists. You know what I'm saying? When you look at this, when you get married under those contracts, are you actually marrying that person? Do we understand what the definition of marry is?
No, they don't.
I'm going to look it up.
All right.
Look up the definition of marrying. So we'll know how to marry something, what that means. And then you can't look at these new age definitions.
Child. Don't go to Urban Dictionary. Nobody made that one up.
Okay, let's see. Okay. So marriage. So you gotta look for the old definition. Hold on. Because all this talking about is. See, all of this stuff is talking about legally recognized union. See, that's not what you're looking for. Act of marrying, intimate or close union, combining. This is what it is. So to marry is to combine together. Hold on, wait a minute.
Two become one.
Yes, to combine, where two things become one under contractual law is normally the situation where it happens. So, but first you have to understand to combine, right?
Right.
So that means that you are supposed to intertwine or to know the person that you're dealing with. To know them is to assimilate into their way of life and their beingness, even as they're assimilating into yours. So y'all are supposed to become one creature. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So in order for that to happen, you have to take the time to learn this person. Then you also have to take the time to know yourself. Then you have to take the time to grow personally, then you have to grow together. All of that takes time to actually assimilate or combine yourself with somebody.
Right.
Right? All of this is supposed to happen before you say I do.
Sounds like courting.
Amazing. Isn't that funny how things just kind of, you know what I'm saying, make a whole circle? Interesting. So most of the people that are out here getting married are not being courted.
They're just dating.
They're just dating.
Then get in the ring.
And get in the ring.
Notice they say, oh, I dated him for 6 months and now we're married. You don't even know if he let the toilet seat down when he get done using the bathroom.
That is true.
And now you mad because y'all married and he don't let the toilet seat down?
So you said you attracted that to yourself.
Right.
Amazing. Amazing. Things we do. And we think we have a hold on this thing called life now. Tell us we don't.
We do.
Okay. We swear up and down we got a hold on this thing called life. Can't nobody do life better than us.
The blind leading the blind.
You understand what I'm saying? And the youth leading the youth.
Lord,
and this is
mercy.
where we are. What's that? What's the next question you got down there?
Oh, the next question. The rest of them is notes, and this one is: do you feel that culture or this generation leaves wants for marriage, and why?
Do I feel that this generation leaves wants from or the desire to be married? Yes and no. If we're going according to mainstream life, then no. If we're going according to the AI and social media, then absolutely not. But if we're going according to the aspects of this generation that's not talked about, then yes.
Okay.
Because just as much as there are those that are teaching our people destructive ways, there are those among us, there are more of a population among us that is choosing the opposite from that. Like they see it happening and they're like, I just don't want to do that. So they go this way. And that population is growing, but they don't get any recognition.
Right.
That's just like, there was this article somebody was talking about, we don't have any black doctors and this, that, and the third. But then somebody counteracted that article and said, well, we just had 200 or 300 graduates from this college that's in medical school. This is and the third, and they're not talked about.
Right.
You know, so the change. I feel like this generation leaves things up for the person to decide what they want for themselves, and then to go that way. It's more open for you to do that.
Right.
If you decide to do that, what you think?
I think yes and no, but I feel like they lean more towards it because of the misconceptions of marriage. They don't lean towards it because it's work involved or it's actually you gotta be more than just what you look like. You gotta actually have some substance to you when you're married.
So they learn that after they get married?
Yeah. And then boom, there go another divorce. Divorce rate go up.
So they treat marriage like a credit card, kind of. Get it, max it out.
Right.
Start over, try again. So you think that's going to lead to more people that's of this generation, by the time they're 45, 50, they're going to have 3-4 marriages under their belt?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's interesting. Y'all be smart out here with y'all marriage, man.
Be smart. Y'all court instead of date. Lord have mercy.
Wow. So people are getting married off the first year fling, like the way the feeling is in the first year.
Yeah. But
that's scary.
they just dating a representative. Because again, the representative is the person that they show you at first. When y'all dating, you ain't seeing the real them. And the representative can only be around for like 6-7 months.
By telling you lies.
Right. You fall in love with that representative. You don't fall in love with a real person.
Wow, that's true.
Heavy.
That's heavy conversation.
Heavy.
You fall in love with the representative and not the real person.
Heavy. Now, if it's a little bit longer than a year, then that's the real person. But people can only show you who they are. People can only show you the fake person they represent for so long. They get tired.
That's, man. They do get tired. That's a lot of energy lying.
It's a lot of energy.
Wow. Good stuff. We had a heavy conversation. What, this is the second episode?
Yeah.
Hey, we ain't even got no meat on our bones yet, for real. And we already going in. Okay. Oh, look at okay, so look, the thing for the definition for married finally popped up, right? Mm-hmm. So the very last definition, which normally the last definition is the oldest one.
Okay.
So to unite in close and usually permanent relation. That's courtship. Mm-hmm. We're not doing that. The very first one says to join in marriage according to law or custom. That's the new age. Because the laws. Right. People are just doing it for law. Do you know that back in the day there was people that would say they would get married for business transaction? Yeah.
That's what they pushing now.
I don't want it. I'm cool. Y'all can keep that. Don't come to me talking about how much you got, what kind of credit score you got, and all that. Because that's what you basing your love off of.
Right. If you want a business partner, just say that.
Facts.
I'm not.
Amazing. Amazing. Mm-hmm. All right. So, is that the show? We at 10:40. We at 10:42 now.
Yeah.
No, you gotta have your rant.
My rant.
Yeah, you gotta do your rant for the day.
I guess I ain't really have one, but I got one.
Okay. So, do your thing. You got it. I'm out.
What am I ranting on today? Yeah. I'm gonna rant on customer service. Let's see. Customer service. I have a problem with people who don't give top tier customer service. This is my whole thing. It is not. Okay, it's not. It's not my problem that you chose to go to that job. Okay? I did not tell you, I did not put a gun to your head and say, you better go to this job. Mm-hmm. If you're having a bad day, cool. Everybody has one. But don't take your frustrations out on me. I just asked for a straw, ma'am.
A word.
What is the issue? Do we need to take you to the side and have a whole counseling session? What is going on?
A word.
Now, when it comes to Chick-fil-A top service, I feel like Chick-fil-A is kind of slacking now. I feel like they're overworking them Chick-fil-A kids. And they need to pump your brakes. Now, I kind of feel like I have to gear myself up to go to different places. Because the customer service. If you go into Popeyes, you know what you finna get.
yeah,
if you go to McDonald's, you know you finna get.
That's true.
Yeah.
And another thing, too, I got something to say. Including your rant. Put me another ketchup in the bag.
Right.
How you gonna give me this whole large fry? You gave me one little ketchup. What am I supposed to do with that?
A little stingy. Like, is it coming out of your paycheck?
I doubt it. Give me some more ketchup. You ain't gotta be like that.
Why do we have to pay 50 cents for another sauce?
That's true too. This joint don't make no sense. That's what I'm saying. I go there, I be like, look, listen now. This through the drive-through. Listen now. Every time I come over, y'all give me 2 ketchups. I got a whole hamburger. I got a whole some fries in there too. Give me enough ketchup to coat the hamburger if I want to coat the hamburger with ketchup. Give me enough ketchup for that. Make it worth my while to come back here.
And how come when you do ask for it, they got an attitude?
Exactly. Customer service.
Ma'am, you acting like I asked you for the whole world.
It's going to spoil. If you don't give it to me, it's going to spoil eventually. So you might as well give it to me.
You might as well. You got to throw it out.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I didn't mean to jump in your rant like that, but I got a little emotional about that ketchup. Cool. We be playing with you, man. But anyway.
Customer service, y'all just step it up. We love you. We need you. Y'all are actual essential workers.
Y'all are.
But I just need y'all to, like, step it up or something. Maybe y'all not getting paid enough. Start a petition. Get y'all pay up a little bit, and we all can be happy.
We all can be happy. Catch up.
Over some ketchup.
So that's the rant for the day?
Yep, that's my rant.
That's our rant for the day. Customer service. Pick up your customer service skills, y'all. They're important. Right. And also, these people that be like, these folks don't tip. These folks don't tip, especially in Pensacola.
Ooh, that's a whole nother rant, too, because I feel like tips are optional when it comes to things.
Do you know in Europe they don't tip at all?
Right.
like when you go to a restaurant, when you go anywhere to go sit down and eat or anything, massage anything, there's no tips. You pay the fee and you leave.
Right.
That's it. But here, it's like mandatory. Have you ordered on DoorDash?
Right. The fees is already like $20, $30 added on to whatever you order for $6.
How I order one basket of fries and some wings, and I got to pay $45 for that.
Right.
Because DoorDash trying to pay extra money. Man, this stuff is ridiculous.
Just like when it comes to Uber,
Oh,
they have a whole rant. Them
Oh, my
drivers,
goodness.
the drivers be talking about y'all, but not me. They be getting mad because y'all don't tip, and I be like, well, it is optional. I mean, what did you do in this situation? Was your car clean? Did you have a good playlist going? Were you being awkward? Like, what went wrong before they just decided not to tip you?
Right.
Because me personally, I don't really care if you don't tip or not. But
Somebody calling
Somebody
in. Hold on. Let's see who this is right here. Hello.
Hey, this is Marlena.
Oh, Marlene. Oh, Marlena, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much.
So, I heard y'all talking about the whole no tip thing, and this is coming from a former server. When you're serving as a waitress and stuff, they only pay you according to like the minimum wage for serving. Which, if you're in Florida, it's like $5. If you're in Alabama, it's like $2.
Okay.
Because they're expecting you to get tips. So when somebody doesn't tip you, then that's a whole issue because you're not able to pay your bills. If everybody decided not to tip, but the people that you're working for are expecting you to get tips to cover the rest of what they're not paying you, then that's where the frustration comes in, and then that's when your customer service goes down as well.
So
what people don't realize is tips used to be to ensure proper service. So you would, back in the day, people would put the tip on the table or like hand the tip to the waitress first before they got their food so that they can ensure proper service.
Oh, I see.
From the person. But nowadays people are like, oh, I'm not tipping, but then they're wondering why they're not getting good service as well, especially if they're coming back reoccurring customers.
But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
go ahead. Okay. So let me ask you this question. Is tipping optional in most restaurants, or is it a mandatory thing for the customer?
It actually really overall it's optional, obviously, but in some places they actually put gratuity, which is the tip. They have it mandatory on a part of your bill. Like some places, if you come into like a more upscale place, it's like, you automatically gratuity is a part of your bill. In other places, they're hoping that you tip, but they're giving you the option to either do it or not. And you have the option of how much you tip based off of your service. But if somebody's giving you outstanding service and you don't tip them at all, that's why Black people also don't get the type of service that we deserve, because we're always known for not tipping.
Okay, well, let me ask you this though. If a restaurant has taken gratuity out, which is the tip, and then tipping is optional, but you have to pay your bills, why would the person that you're working for create that type of environment for it to be optional? And like if you need it so much to take care of your life, why would that optional standard be there?
Because they're hoping that people tip based off of the service, not saying that, oh, they're not going to tip at all. Like if you give crappy service, you have the option to not tip that person because they gave you crappy service.
Right. But
they're expecting for people to give exceptional service, so you're going to get an exceptional tip. It's to promote better customer service.
I see.
To give the option of how much you tip. But in other places, they make you pay because of the place that it is. Like if you have a big party of like 30 people, most times places have like a 30% tip already added to the bill. And it'll like tell you at the bottom, like you've already paid for the tip. You don't need to tip them anymore unless you want to.
I see. So, okay, that just seems irresponsible on the company to leave somebody's well-being in the hand of people that have the option to tip if they want to or not. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So I see what you're saying. So it's better for a company to take gratuity out. That way you ensure that your tip is coming to you as opposed to leaving it in the hands of the people.
Either that or just pay servers a normal minimum wage, or like the a higher pay. That way you don't have to worry about the tip. But again, if you're more inclined to, especially if you have reoccurring customers, you're more inclined to give them the best service, make sure their drinks are refilled, make sure their food is right, when you know they're going to give you a $30 tip, even though they're spending $20. You know what I mean?
Right.
According to that, as opposed, that's why when we go out as Black folks, people look at us sideways. Nobody, even as Black waitresses, waiters, they don't want to take those tables because they know they're not going to get money off of it. So it's like they're spinning their wheels and doing all this great work, no matter what, but they're not getting compensated for it.
But they have, though. If they took gratuity out, then they've already paid it.
No, but most places don't. That's the thing. Most places, unless you're working in an upscale place, most places don't take gratuity out. Unless it's like a big party, if there's like 20 people. Oh,
I see. Okay.
But if you go into IHOP, they don't take gratuity out. You have to tip. But if you go into the what is that, like Jocko's, I don't know if they do it for real, but if you go into like a place like Jocko's or like a place like that, more likely than not, they take gratuity out.
To ensure.
Or like the New World Landing, place like that, they'll take gratuity.
That makes sense. So more upscale, they'll look out for their people a little bit better than the ones that's kind of on the bottom.
Correct.
That still falls on the company, though, doesn't it? The responsibility for that falls on the company to bring better practices for their employees. Amazing.
But again, that's where the whole to ensure proper service. That's where tips come from, to ensure proper service.
Now, what's interesting to me, I'm not gonna hold you long, but what's interesting to me is that if I go to Waffle House in the States. And I go to Waffle House in England. In England, they're just going to give me my food the same way every time, and it's not going to be required of anything. But in America, we're required to do these things because it's considered proper for us to give more for our meal that we've already paid for to the person bringing it to us, right? So what is the difference in the society standard between the UK and between America?
Well, you have to first ask the question: how much are those people in UK getting paid? Are they getting paid way under the minimum, their minimum requirements of pay, or are they getting paid the same amount that the cook at Whataburger's getting paid, which is like for us $13, $14 an hour now? Right. Are they getting that pay, or are they getting $3, $4, $5 an hour?
Right.
And expect to make tips.
Oh, I see.
That's one big thing, and then of course the standard of living. Cost of living, how is that different there than it is here?
Right.
So the weight on the shoulders of the person that's handing you your food is different, and then the weight of the shoulders of the person that's receiving the food can be different. So you have to look at both of those things.
That's true. Okay. All right, ma'am. Give yourself a shout out.
All right.
So that's Marlene. I appreciate you, Marlene, for calling in. And yeah, we appreciate the commentary. What you think about that?
I do think it.
Yeah, you agree with that?
I do.
I really feel like it should be more of a standard when it comes to down to the way that food service and all of that whole industry as a whole plays into our society, because you're gonna either be left up to the have or the have-nots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the people that have it, of course, they don't mind giving it because, it's not going to put a damper on anything. But if your company is forcing you to depend on people that are barely scraping by on their own, then most of the time you can expect not to get that extra. Because why would I pay extra when I don't have to? You know what I'm saying? Why would I not save money when I know I you know what I'm saying? But then it's like, oh, you should feel bad because you didn't give me a tip. But it's like, but I thought tipping was optional.
Right.
So is it optional or is it not optional? And if it is, why am I being treated badly for choosing the option of not to give it?
It's heavy.
That's heavy. We've been dealing with a lot of heavy conversation today, man. It's,
it's heavy.
Real heavy. So it looks like we're at the bottom of the hour now.
Yes, we are.
We made it through a second episode, y'all. This has been dope. We had people calling in. Shout out to everybody that called in. You know what I'm saying? Lena, April, Marlena. Shout out to y'all for calling in, giving y'all commentary, and adding some more spice to the show. Shout out to my co-host, Moel, for bringing such interesting questions, such thought-provoking questions, and giving her rants on life. Shout out to WPMM Radio for allowing us to be here, for hosting us, and letting us come to y'all and do our thing on Saturdays in the daytime. You have anything coming up special?
Have anything coming up? No.
Nothing yet?
Nothing
Okay.
yet.
Okay, so there's things coming, and you'll let the people know when that's getting ready to come up. For me, I don't have anything special coming up. Not yet. I am working on some new material. I do have some new music. I got all kind of stuff going on, but I have nothing coming up at the moment. So right now, it's just tune in to us on Saturdays, 9 a.m. If you have any questions, you should already know the Gmail, but we're going to repeat that one more time. It's Beauty in the Brain.
It's Beauty in the Brains podcast at gmail.com.
Beauty in the Brains podcast at Gmail. You can leave your questions there, or you can inbox either one of us on Facebook, Instagram,
Twitter,
on YouTube,
Spill, whatever.
and you just give us a shout and let us know you have a question or a topic, and then we'll work to include that into an upcoming show. We may just make a spot if we get enough. Just make a spot for certain people's questions. We'll give you a name, your shout out, and then we'll ask your question. And we'll go through it, and give people the opportunity to call in on your question when you have it. We're gonna switch up our playlist, what we play at the end, because Facebook is already giving like copyright claims on instrumentals or whatever. So it looks like the newer instrumentals we can't use them, so we have to go back into the old school vault and kind of pull some things for it to work with. But so we'll have more music for y'all for next time. But the good thing is we ran all the way to 11 o'clock today, so we don't even really have to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Good job. So you have anything to say about the show today?
No, I think it was real good. It was juicy and it was heavy.
Juicy and heavy. That's how I like it. What about the recap from last week?
The recap from last week?
Yeah.
I think last week was real good.
What do you think that we can improve based on last week to this week?
Well, we added more questions.
Okay.
We called and had people talk to us. We're speaking into the mics.
Oh, yeah, we are speaking into the mic, so hopefully the audio is a little bit clearer this week. Give us suggestions. If you're on YouTube, go down in the comment box below. Let us know what we can improve on, what type of things you would like to see. And we're just going to keep bringing y'all that current event, relationship type stuff.
Right.
And let's just see where it grows. So this is Moel, the Beauty. I'm Luke 1817. I'm the Brains. And this has been another Beauty and the Brains podcast. We love y'all out there. Make sure y'all taking care of yourself. Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. We don't need y'all to be falling out.
H3O. Not just
juice.
Yes. There you go. What you say?
Fruit juice.
Fruit juice, like apple juice,
Apple juice.
grape juice,
Coconut water.
watermelon. Oh man. So I suggest cutting slices of watermelon. Put the whole slice in a juicer. So you get the juice from the seeds, from the white part, and from the skin also. So you have to wash it first. And then juice the whole thing and drink that. And you're going to see how your hydration is.
Dang, I'm trying it today. My NutriBullet.
Wait, where you get watermelon at?
What you mean?
From the side of the road? The man on the side of the road?
No, I ain't stopped by him, but I do got some from Publix.
From Publix? Okay. I'm looking for that man on the side of the road. He ain't been back since it got hot.
Cause it's a little hot out there.
Yeah. We need him to come on through. If y'all know him, man, give him a phone call. Tell him he need to come post up.
Aunt.
Yeah, somebody check on Aunt. Tell Aunt we need the watermelons out here, man. He tripping. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. Enjoy y'all weekend. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace out.